Hello and welcome again to our videos about Earthster. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to get quick results in Earthster by using our templates. Here I am in a regular Earthster session and I'm going to click create a new cycle. And for the purpose of this video, I'm going to model a car, an automobile. And I want to include all the stages that I can. So if I search with the word automobile, I see that I have here a template of automobile manufacturing. So from the point of view of a manufacturer, I'll click here and it will preload here the different life cycle stages. And I see that it looks quite comprehensive. I can see the different, this includes gasoline consumption, different modes of transportation. Now, I know that behind the scenes, this template comes from USEEIO. So it uses all our templates use input-output data to compile the life cycle stages of the particular product. So it is comprehensive, it is top-down, and it includes everything that may be included statistically for automobile manufacturing. So I go to next, and I would say, instead of one unit, I'm going to say one car. And here on the right hand side has appeared the set the value for the selected template. And you see that I can't change this value. This is in US dollars because my template is measured in US dollars. So here I'm going to say that it's $18,000 per car. And it also lets me add here other functions, other functional units. And that's why it asks me to describe what my product does. Normally, the more exhaustive my definition of a function is, the better, because it helps me think about what would be good ways of measuring the function of this cycle, and therefore how much is the output of this cycle. One car is not really comparable, because some cars may last for longer, run more kilometers, be easier to maintain, etc. And US dollars is definitely a difficult one to compare because it can fluctuate very much. But if I say, what does the product do? It transports people for a given number of kilometers for a given number of years. In this case, I'm going to say, instead of a given number of kilometers, I'm going to say 30,000. Did I write this correctly? Yes, I did. And I'm going to say that it lasts for 20 years. For example, just by saying this, it already told me functional units that I should write. So I'm going to say those 300,000 kilometers, and I can also say these 20 years, not 2 years, 20 years. There's also, if I read more deeply into this functional definition, I might say, well, wait a second. It says it transports people. It's not the same if it's transporting one person or more people. Now, if you're experienced in LCA and you've read many LCAs, you may be aware that for personal transportation, there's another unit that people tend to use that is called person kilometer. So person times kilometer. And what that means is I multiply the amount of kilometers by how many people I expect to be riding that car at a given time. So I can say that it's 1.5, so 450,000 persons kilometer. Now, all these are equivalent at a given point in time. So I can say this is going to be the impact of one car, or of $18,000, or of 300,000 kilometers. But later, when I'm comparing this with another model, I can say, well, what is the impact per kilometer of these two cars? This one lasts for much longer. So what is the impact per kilometer? Or what is the impact per year? What is the impact per person kilometer? Now, person kilometer for a car might be quite similar, but what if I'm comparing going with a bus or renting a car? Then person kilometer becomes the most relevant unit. So once I've set all this, I click on Create Cycle, and it will set up and scale all the values for me. So I go here, and you see that all these numbers are in thousands instead of being in decimals like it would be if I put only $1. But still, the production, it says here per one car. So now I have a model that is representative for me. And I can go and change any of these. Let's say that I have the question, well, what if I changed my electricity consumption for wind power, for example? Then I would go here and say, well, let me look up my utilities. And in my utilities, I'm going to change electricity. And I go here and I can click on swap. And I'm going to put electricity wind power. Let's see, electricity production wind from, let's pick a big turbine. I happen to be in Spain. I would like a global one. Or rest of the world, broader average. I'm going to swap by this value. And of course, at this point, I would need to figure out what is the equivalent kilowatt hour for that given amount of power. For the moment, for the purpose of this exercise, I'm going to leave that as it is. But you see that this has updated the values. Now, one thing that comes with the templates is that if I click on compare, because I use the template, it's going to compare straight away with that template. So I can see the effect of the things that I've just changed. And you can see that even though the units were not the same, the effect it's a little bit, it's visible, but it's not very big. And if we look at the whole life cycle, then it hasn't been that big. So I can do a quick analysis, I can do a quick analysis of, for example, the question, for an average car, what is the impact of changing all the production, electricity production to wind power? And if I go back to my cycle, which is called automobile, this is my cycle. I have already a cycle to start improving. So it's not only for quick changes, but also I could put here my bill of materials, my cost, how much input do I have of each one of them in US dollars, and I would have already a relatively coarse LCA because it's made out of input-output data, but already a representative LCA of my product. And that was a quick tour of how to use the templates to answer quick questions. I will look for your comments, recommendations, and questions on our social media, on our website, earthster.org. And as usual, feel free to go over to earthster.org and sign up. And it's for free, and you get to try our product. I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.